Hi, this is Greg. Hello. I just have read through about half of the blog posts and prompts so far. There's a lot of good material and content, but I also see trending deviation or a similar issue in a number of the posts. And so what I wanted to do was to give you some video feedback as a class, as well as providing individual feedback via emails. At the start of the term, it's important that you learn and understand what my expectations are, and it's also important that I give you feedback based on your work, and ideally you'll be able to reshape your work to specifically meet some of the expectations that I have. And if I'm not making my expectations clear to you, then that will give you a chance to let me know that what I'm expecting is either clear or unclear, or if you have other questions, to definitely be in touch with me. One of the things that I wanted to make very explicit at the beginning is that with writing material, I'm very, very open to you sending material to me, asking me to review it, to get it back to you. So if you have a blog response you're not sure about, you're like, I don't know if this is going to work or not. Is this what he's hoping for? Do I address the prompt? Send it my way. Send it to me. Make sure that I have at least a day or two to respond to it, and I'll get back to you, and I'll let you know where I think it sits. I'm not going to give it a tentative score, but I can tell you if I see any obvious gaps or where it's strong, etc. If you have specific concerns, you can say, hey, I'm concerned about X, will you take a look at this? That helps guide me in terms of giving feedback. So anyhow, that's the general approach towards writing material. The one major thing that I see across multiple posts is attending to the prompt, or students not attending specifically to the prompt. And the prompt asks you to connect the net standards to the other materials which you read and were exposed to, as well as your experience. What this means is that whether you're discussing your own experience or whether you're discussing the materials that you're reading, the net standards need to interlock and be connected. It may seem initially artificial to do this, to take this approach, but what I'm trying to encourage you to do is to develop your familiarity with the nets to the point that it becomes a filter that you can turn on or off in the way that you view the world, the way that you view technology, the way that you analyze situations that have to do with technology or budgets. This will enable you, whether discussing budgets at your elementary school, the development and inclusion of technology in your classroom or for specific activities, or even on a broader social discussion, be it editorials or with your union or at a school board. If you can refer to these standards, that gives you a lot of leverage in your discussions, but it also helps you construct and connect your values, your experience with an external standard. So that's really why I'm working towards encouraging and requiring you to connect the net standards to the other material that we encounter each week. And as we move on into the journal reviews, again, it will connect to the net standards. As you do the web resources, it will connect to the net standards. This is a theme that is repeated throughout this course. So that's one of the major things that's important to attend to. When you discuss content, sometimes there is not enough time in 300 to 700 words to discuss everything that you've read. I know this, I accept this, and I do not expect you to address every single point. Similarly, I do not expect you to be able to integrate all of the material all at once. Ideally, you will find key points which interest you and key points which connect to the net standards, and that's what you'll focus on. And in your writing, I highly suggest that you focus on specific, concrete details from the material which you have watched, from your material physical experience, and from your pedagogical experience as a student and as a teacher. Draw on these specific points, connect these specific points, and then you can go in depth. You don't have to do the whole broad picture. You can also focus on one net standard as it applies and connects to, say, 2 or 3 of your own lived experiences, as well as 2 or 3 points raised in one or several different videos. That operates as well as trying to do the overview or to do the depth. I hope that makes sense. If not, email me, ask me a question. But what I really want to see, what I'm expecting to see in graduate level work, is specific concrete details that support your work and support your assertions. Finally, when I respond to your blog posts, at least initially here for the first couple of weeks, I'm giving you very, very short responses, because when people provide responses that are very long towards writing, I find that they're usually ignored or overlooked. So the best tactic that I have to offer is to identify 1 or 2 key things that are working and or not working, bring your attention to that. Hopefully you will focus on that on your next post, you will improve it, and then we will continue to work and develop. In all of my emails, I attempt to offer a balance between positive and room for improvement. If I miss that, or I don't include a section because I've overlooked the positive or I've overlooked a room for improvement, please do not take that as your writing is horrible, your writing is bad. That is not why it's there. What is there is that I was so focused on the problem that I forgot to include the where your work is solid. If you are concerned about that and you want me to look at your work and to identify where you have strengths and weaknesses, more than happy to do that. I love working with writing. This has gone way long, but I wanted to give you an initial sense in the first week of how some of the writing feedback is working, as well as where you are on track and where you might be bumping in the ruts a bit. I've enjoyed reading the material so far. I hope that you have too, and I look forward to reading more of your content. Email me if you have any questions. Ciao.